The scene unfolding across Israel has taken another sharp and dramatic turn, as reports confirm the complete flattening of a key naval command center by coordinated strikes from the Middle East alliance. An attack that immediately stands out not only because of its scale, but also because of its symbolic and strategic weight. For decades, Israel has poured vast resources into its naval infrastructure, especially in the Mediterranean coastal zones, creating bases and command hubs meant to act as the central nervous system of maritime defense. This specific command center was not just a building. It was essentially the brain of operations at sea, overseeing fleet coordination, radar monitoring, submarine deployment, and the management of advanced missile defense systems. The destruction of such a hub raises questions not only about the vulnerabilities of Israeli defenses, but also about the sheer precision and force behind the attack that brought it down in terms of key features. The Naval Command Center was designed with multiple layers of reinforcement. Engineers incorporated both above-ground control rooms and deep underground bunkers meant to withstand heavy bombardment. It also contained state-of-the-art communication systems linking ships, submarines, coastal radars, and even drones patrolling offshore waters. Its architecture reflected a blend of utilitarian military design and advanced technology integration, with reinforced concrete structures, redundant power supplies, fiber optic communication lines, and an extensive array of antenna arrays on the surface. Despite this, the strike was able to completely neutralize it, showing that the offensive capabilities of the alliance had reached levels capable of breaching hardened military targets. To the layman, this might look like a regular base wiped out. But in technical terms, it means the loss of a hub that acted as the control tower of Israel's maritime security. The performance aspect of the attack is striking. Multiple reports indicate that the strike was not a random bombardment, but a highly coordinated operation involving ballistic missiles, loitering drones, and electronic warfare components. Analysts suggest that jamming systems may have been deployed to blind radar temporarily, paving the way for precision strikes to land directly on critical nodes. The first wave seems to have targeted surface antennas and satellite uplink stations, cutting communication. The second wave focused on reinforced structures, penetrating with specialized warheads designed to collapse underground bunkers. This kind of precision reflects not just raw firepower, but an advanced level of coordination between multiple countries. Armed forces, integrating intelligence, surveillance, and real-time target tracking. It sends a loud message. Israel's long-perceived superiority in electronic warfare and missile defense can be challenged when adversaries pool resources and synchronize tactics, looking at the design elements of the command center itself. One can see how military architects aim to fuse visibility with concealment. Above-ground structures were heavily fortified, but disguised with landscaping and minimalistic appearances to blend into the coastals, while much of the command and control was buried deep underground. Blast doors, shock-absorbing walls, and compartmentalized rooms were meant to contain damage even if one section was hit. The base also included rapid-air features, modular electronics, replaceable fiber lines, and secondary control rooms that could theoretically be brought online within hours. Yet the fact that this base could be completely flattened suggests either an underestimation of the Alliance's strike capabilities or a breakthrough in munitions technology that Israel had not adequately prepared for. For observers, this raises broader questions about the future of hardened military infrastructure in an era where deep penetration in precision strike systems are becoming more accessible to alliances outside NATO. Unique selling points of this naval command hub before its destruction were its role as the pivot of Israel's maritime presence. It allowed real-time coordination of missile boats patrolling the Mediterranean, submarine operations that formed part of Israel's strategic deterrence, and integration with coastal Iron Dome batteries designed to intercept incoming threats. The command center was also linked with intelligence sharing frameworks, pulling satellite imagery, signals intelligence, and naval radar feeds into one centralized operation room. Operators inside the command center had the ability to control unmanned sea vessels, task aircraft with maritime surveillance, and direct rapid response teams in case of infiltration attempts. From a defense architecture perspective, it was one of the crown jewels of Israel's military machine. Its loss is not just a physical blow, but also a psychological one, as it demonstrates that even the most secure and technologically advanced nodes in Israel's network are not invulnerable. The symbolism of this destruction is also worth unpacking. Naval Command has always carried an aura of control, dominance, and deterrence, particularly in Israel, which relies on maritime supply routes, offshore gas rigs, and the ability to project power beyond its coastline. With this hub gone, Israel temporarily faces disruptions in naval coordination, which could complicate both defensive and offensive operations at sea. For adversaries, this is proof that the era of Israeli untouchability is waning. For Israel's allies, it is a wake-up call that maintaining technological superiority requires constant evolution against adversaries who are rapidly catching up. For civilians watching, the images of a once bustling command compound reduced to rubble create a visceral sense of vulnerability that no amount of official reassurance can fully erase. The sheer magnitude of the strike also invites analysis of performance metrics on both sides. For the alliance, it shows unprecedented integration of intelligence, timing, and weaponry. For Israel, it exposes blind spots in detection and interception, particularly if electronic warfare indeed played a role in softening defenses. Some experts argue that this was less about firepower and more about outmaneuvering Israel's sensors and anti-missile defenses, which are tuned to intercept single threats rather than layered, multi-vector assaults. In layman's terms, it is like overwhelming a goalie, not with one powerful shot, but with a flurry of unpredictable ones. Some disguised, some delayed, until the defense cracks. The Naval Command Center, despite being hardened, could not withstand that layered assault, which makes the event one of the most studied military episodes in recent memory. Observers are now dissecting the technical aftermath. Satellite images show total flattening, with only fragments of concrete and twisted metal marking the site. Analysts point out that underground bunkers may have collapsed inward, burying equipment under tons of rubble. Communication towers lie scattered, and scorch marks suggest secondary explosions, likely from fuel storage or power backup systems detonating. What's left is essentially unusable, forcing Israel to shift naval coordination to secondary sites or mobile command units, which are far less efficient. In performance terms, the resilience of Israel's command and control architecture is being put to its severest test, as redundancy only works if alternate hubs can carry the same load without being similarly targeted. The psychological and geopolitical dimensions add yet another layer. This event is not isolated. It is part of a broader campaign in which multiple critical Israeli infrastructure points have been targeted. The naval hub's destruction aligns with a pattern. Airbase, police headquarters, intelligence nodes, and now maritime command. The Middle East alliance seems to be dismantling Israel's military architecture piece by piece, each strike targeting a nerve center rather than peripheral outposts. This strategy amplifies the impact of each attack because instead of just damaging a warehouse or a runway, the strikes are eroding the control systems that allow Israel to project order and efficiency. It is like attacking the CPU of a computer rather than its peripherals, crippling the ability to process and coordinate in terms of technical and symbolic analysis. This Naval Command Center strike reveals a lot about modern warfare. It showcases how hardened facilities, once thought nearly impregnable, are increasingly vulnerable in a world of precision weaponry and coordinated alliances. It underscores the role of electronic warfare in nullifying even advanced defensive networks. And it highlights the importance of redundancy and decentralization in military planning. Because once a central hub is gone, the ripple effects can paralyze multiple branches of operations. For the average viewer, the image of a once proud naval fortress turned into a smoking crater speaks volumes about the evolving balance of power in the region and the uncertainties that lie ahead.